Sometimes you do everything you can. You work hard, you stay patient, you try to do the right thing. And still things fall apart. The opportunity you were waiting for disappears. Someone you trusted walks away. The future you imagined suddenly looks completely different. And in that moment, the only question that keeps coming back is, why me? This is where faith becomes difficult. It is easy to believe in God when life is going exactly the way you want it. But what happens when your prayers seem unanswered? What happens when the door you desperately wanted to open remains closed? What happens when you cannot understand why life is taking you in a completely different direction? Krishna teaches us that we are often limited by what we can see right now. You see one moment, but life is made of thousands of moments that are connected to each other. A situation that feels like a loss today may change the direction of your entire life tomorrow. A delay that frustrates you may be protecting you from something you are not ready to face. A closed door may be forcing you toward a path you would never have chosen on your own. And this is the part we often struggle to accept. Not everything that leaves your life is meant to be replaced immediately. Some things leave to create space. Space for growth. Space for a new direction. Space for a version of you that could not exist in your old life. Think about a seed buried beneath the soil. From the outside, nothing seems to be happening. There is no visible progress. But beneath the surface, something is changing. The seed is breaking apart before it can grow. And sometimes, life feels exactly like that. You may feel like you are losing pieces of your old life. But perhaps you are not being destroyed. Perhaps you are being transformed. Of course, this does not mean you have to enjoy the pain. You do not have to pretend that everything is fine. You are allowed to feel disappointed. You are allowed to grieve what you lost. You are allowed to admit that you do not understand what is happening. But do not make a permanent decision about your life based on a temporary chapter. Your current situation is not the final version of your story. The rejection is not your identity. The delay is not proof that you have been forgotten. And one failure does not have the power to define your future. Sometimes the answer to why is this happening to me does not come through an explanation. It comes through time. Months later, you may understand why that person had to leave. Years later, you may realize why that opportunity never worked out. And one day, you may look back at the situation that once broke your heart and realize that it quietly changed the direction of your entire life. You may not have chosen that chapter, but it may still become an important part of your story. So instead of asking only, why is this happening to me? Ask yourself, what can I do with this moment? You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control what you do next. You can keep learning. You can keep working. You can keep moving forward, even if your steps are small. This is where Krishna's teaching becomes powerful. Your responsibility is to perform your duty with sincerity. The result is not always in your hands. And sometimes, the result you want is not the result that serves your journey best. That is difficult to accept when you are standing in the middle of the struggle. But life is not always clear while you are living through it. Sometimes, clarity comes only when you look back. So if today feels confusing, do not assume that your life is going nowhere. You may simply be in a chapter whose purpose you cannot understand yet. Keep walking. You do not need to see the entire road. You only need enough faith to take the next step. Because one day, you may look back and realize that the moment you thought was taking you away from your path was actually leading you toward it. Your story is not over. This is only one chapter.